This program contains explicit and coarse street language. It's not intended for children's viewing. Parental guidance is advised.
The only consequences of a program like this are bad consequences.
A program like this can actually harm them.
Pat your head and rub your stomach.
This right here is where you're gonna be if you don't change your life.
Somebody's raping you in the middle of the night. It can traumatize them, and what do traumatized children do? They often turn to a path of crime.
Don't cry, suck it up!
And Cervantes still seems traumatized.
Do you remember that day?
A terrified 9-year-old boy dangled like a raw piece of meat in front of a pack of prisoners.
The program is not meant to be, on some levels, that intense.
Prisoners berating and cursing at the children.
Get off your building! Get off! I got a hot problem! I don't need your damn excuses. Knock them out! Knock them out!
Is about to move out of here except for one individual. He's staying with us for a couple days.
Where's Justin at? You the rap star?
Yeah.
Open them all but 3.
You staying.
You brought rolling papers into a jail?
I didn't know they were in my pocket.
So you won't be going home today?
What, because I was rapping?
It's more to it than that.
Dude, I felt you so hard when you were like, because I'm rapping? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not being violent.
Like,
I was doing poetry.
I had said, like, in the episode, you could see me say, like, oh, who's trying to cipher? But that's because somebody had said something to me while we were in the cells and was like, hey, you the white boy that be rapping? You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah. And they were like, let me hear something. So then I was like, all right, well, who's trying to cipher? Like, who's going to rap with me? And nobody rapped with me. I was like, great. Thanks for making me look fucking awkward. But I don't really care. I'd be looking at that time period of my life and just like, bro, who wasn't fucking 15 and dumb as hell?
Right, exactly.
It's funny because I know that rap word for word. Like pretty much every rap I've ever written, I still like know it. Like
really?
I know exactly what I said.
Dude, it was censored.
I first started rapping probably around 13 years old.
And I've been getting money, yeah, bitch, I'm so up. I just dropped a blunt, they talking about me, so what? And I just poured some lean up and might go up. Hey, I think I'll never grow up. And
14, I was writing songs all the time.
while driving this foreign craft, fresh like where Florida's at, or where Georgia's at, fresh like where them oranges at.
Battling people in the bathrooms at school, shit like that. That was like one of the ones that whenever somebody would be like, oh, I heard you rap, that was one of those ones that I would just be like, yeah, I know this one right off the top of my head. So I would say that one all the time. And just to be honest with you, back then, it was like if you were white and you were rapping, you had to rap like Eminem.
Piss in a cup, fuck a job, I need to get paid for the words that I blurt when I'm feeling hurt. Yeah, I'm hurt, but I can't see earth.
You just had to. It was like, there's no other way to rap. Now I don't rap like that now, but.
Hey, we strapped up when we riding, yeah. And we ducking from the sirens. Yeah, they don't want to.
I still remember that at first.
You don't have to, but I would love to hear it.
All right, I'll say a little bit of it. Just because, we're doing the interview about it. Might as well. So I was like, So I got this dormantness and nothing but importantness, and I've been storing this in liquid form and shit. It's time to start pouring it. I'm hot enough to scorch this shit, but I'd rather torture it like a fucking horror flick. My thoughts are tormented. I'm just here to inform the kids, and I actually warn the kids. I'm hotter than global warming is. You can say that heat just swarms this shit. So I was sworn to this. So I keep slaving, and I keep saying that I'm not playing. I'm ready to pick up a mic and just start slaying. These rap actors go hard like I turn my hat backwards. Ash Ketchum, Mad Hatter.
It's so nice hearing it from you and also it not being censored. How many years ago was this?
It was filmed in 2010. It was aired in January of 2011. Was the first time it aired on TV.
Beyond Scared Straight. New season returns Monday at 10 on A&E.
Wow.
So I was 15 when we recorded, and I was 16 when it aired. So that's why when it pops up with my name and it says Justin, it says that I'm 16. It was only because I was 16 when the episode aired. 15 years, dude.
Bro, honestly, it's an honor. It's an honor that I got to hear that, dude. Thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
You in my house now.
I appreciate it. I make way better music now.
Yeah, no, tell me about that, man. Tell me. I was hearing it and I just thought it was such a good vibe. It's an instant bop.
Kickback, and we got choppers at the kickback. Come out of pocket at the kickback. We might just rob you at the kickback. Yeah.
I got a couple music videos out now. I mainly just do it for me now. It's kind of like a hobby. Like I don't really chase the dream of like how I was in the episode. Like, no, I'm gonna be a rapper. I still make music, I still write, I still record, I still drop music videos. Yeah, so if anybody wants to check it out, I got a song out called Kickback.
I don't got a problem with buying some drugs and supplying this shit. I got a bitch and she look like a model. We offer the Molly, I'm high as a bitch.
I got other music too. If you want to find it, all you gotta do is type in my name right. Yeah, shout out to that videographer. His name is Christopher Archer. Well, he has a big platform called My Block Live. I have done a My Block Live too, so nice. If you go check out his platform, I'm on there also. I got a song up there called Some Slight. It's like a on the block microphone performance.
Put them under pressure, cause you know pressure bust pipes. Put me under pressure I'm a bust pipes.
You were in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Did they set that up? What was that? How did it get to that?
Shout out to my homeboy Tough Shorty. It was a guy, that's his rap name. He's been a big influence on me growing up out here. He was just around me a lot during that time when they were like, oh, he wants to be a rapper. He's an aspiring rapper. We got this great story. You know, I had him with me before we went to the studio, and it was really actually his idea. He was like, why don't we take him to the studio I'll record at right now and y'all can make a song right now. And then the producers at A&E got like some actual industry beats, and I didn't have a computer, so they burned it onto a disc for me, 3 beats that they paid for from some big name producer out in LA or something.
Oh my God.
And was like, here, pick one of these beats and make a song right now.
That's so cool.
So that's what we did. And actually I dropped that song that I made on Scared Straight, and it's featuring Tough Shorty. He's the guy he's on the hook of the song.
I must be in a daze that could leave you amazed for days. Cause at this rate, I shouldn't have to demonstrate the lyrical madness coming from this young renegade. You must have been afraid when you noticed I could have sent a wave of destruction in your direction. I don't need correction, cause the way I be repping, my foe's cold and planning to get back, son. That's what they do. They hate on you. They hate on you, cause they see you coming up and it ain't nothing they can do. That's what they do. That's what they do. They want to stop the way you move, cause they see you coming up and it ain't nothing they can do. That's what they do.
There's nothing I won't do to you. I'm your worst nightmare. Mommy and Daddy ain't gonna be here to help you.
Beyond Scared Straight. Only on CI.
How do you feel though? Like, how do you feel about television? Like, after you were in that episode and you saw how it was made, how did you feel watching television after that?
It's a little bit surreal. It's hard to watch reality television. I actually don't, because I've been on the other side of that. And you gotta think, we filmed for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like a short period of time where the cameras were around me. It was actually like 3 months. They came a bunch of times, and there's like a lot of footage that they didn't air with the episode. But just being behind the camera and seeing how you're asking me a question now and I'm just answering it freely, even if I'm like ADHD spewing off, whatever. That's not how it is when those cameras are in front of you.
Right.
When those cameras are in front of you, they make you answer questions a certain, like, you can't answer the question like you're answering a question. So like you just asked me now, I can't say, well, you know, since you said that, now that I think about it, I have to answer it like I came up with this answer. There was no question, and I just have to. And then if you say something they don't like, they kind of, hey, nah, we didn't like that. Say it like this, or hey, how about add this in? What if you said this happened?
They were very meticulous, right?
They like coerce you through it. They coerce you into being. Let's be honest, you know, none of the kids. None of us, and I can speak for all of us, bro. None of us were as bad as they made us look on TV.
So you felt misrepresented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't that bad, dude. None of us were. Not even the kids on my episode. None that I've seen other than going through it myself. None of us were doing the things that they said, like, to that extreme. Everybody's a teenager. Everybody fucking hangs out. And am I allowed to cuss?
Absolutely.
But yeah, like everybody, you know, everybody was hanging out and smoking weed and things like that. But they make it like, oh, you're a heroin dealer. They just make it this big extreme thing, and it's not that. And honestly, to get back to your question, sorry for spewing off, but
no, you're good.
After being behind the cameras like that and seeing how that operates and how they kind of coerce you into the picture they want to make of you, all that, it makes reality TV hard to watch. And I've had offers to like come back, like update episode. It was supposed to be like an 8 years later thing or something.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, I turned it down. I turned down going back and doing an update. I was like, nah, I didn't like how it was. I didn't like the vibes. And to be completely honest, I wasn't at a good point in my life to where I could just be like, yeah, come and see how I'm doing better. I didn't want to be the fucking failure story. I wanted to actually be the success story.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I went through the program and straightened my life, but that's not the case. I went through the program, and then a year after it aired when I was 16. By the time I was 17, I was already facing charges, and I've done 7.5 years behind the charges that I got, like a year after doing the episode. I'm on probation to this day for like some burglary shit. That was literally right after the episode.
You would say it made things worse.
Oh yeah. If I could go back, I would. Oh, you know what, though? I'm not going to say that because I wouldn't not do it, but I definitely would be a little bit more conscious while doing it. But it's hard to say that when you're talking about your 15-year-old self.
Yeah, being 15 and also being directed. Like they're behind the camera manipulating the scenes and trying to get you to act up.
There was one part they didn't air where they tried to get an inmate to yell at me. If you notice in the episode, I got a shirt on, and then like the next scene, I have a tank top on. Out of nowhere, I just didn't have my shirt. I was in a wife beater.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
What happened?
So what they edited out was they put me in front of some guy that was supposed to be like some, super hardened criminal gangster or whatever. But like whole time he's from the same area as me, and he like knows my uncle, and he like knows my older cousins and shit. And I've been around people that he knows, and we just got to talking. At first he did what they wanted him to do. He like took my shirt. He was like, give me your shirt. Cause I had on, back then it was cool. Probably not cool now, but I had on that like Black Label shirt. Like remember the Black Label Society? Yeah, I have one of those on, and he's like, "Give me your shirt." And when I handed it to him, I kind of made a smart ass comment. I was like, "What are you gonna do with that? You can't even keep it. What are you about to do with it? Like, I'm not stupid." He just immediately stopped yelling at me and was like, "Hey, look, bro, you're too smart for this shit. Stay out the streets." He started giving me motivational advice and shit, and was like, "Bro, stay out the way. They told me you be rapping and stuff. Like, bro, just focus on that." And they didn't air that. He didn't do what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to like scare me and yell at me and make me be like, "Oh no, don't hurt me, sir."
I remember when the episode just started, like you guys just got to the prison, and damn, they got handsy immediately, especially with the girl. What was it like witnessing all that?
It leaves a sour taste in your mouth when it comes to like law enforcement, especially as a teenager growing up in like a kind of a crime infested area. It kind of just makes you be like, all y'all with the badge on is just, you look at it like that's the enemy, that's the bad guy. Growing up and maturing and where I'm at now, like I don't have that same sentiment towards law enforcement, but during that time, definitely I was like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like ain't no way, bro. It's all for the cameras too. They want to like be extra for the cameras too.
I just know that, there's been studies about how these programs are bullshit. A lot of people are looking into this show now, like 10 years later, because they're reflecting off of a time where it was good TV. But now they look back and they go, holy shit, like I can't believe that was a thing. I can't believe that they were allowed to do that. How does that sit with you?
You're totally right. And I was on season 3, so it wasn't really like this big, huge thing yet. Like, I had seen it on TV and I'd heard of it, but I didn't fully think it was like all the way real. And I kind of got like tricked into going because I had gotten into some trouble. My mom like found a bunch of stuff in my room, smoke and just a bunch of stuff that 14, 15-year-olds shouldn't have. And I was super grounded or whatever, and I was very defiant and just bucking doing whatever I wanted to do. But then one day she like tricked me and was like, hey, come on, I'm gonna take you out to eat. And we like got in the car and we were driving and going, and we pulled up to this like funny looking building, and I was like, what is this? And she's like, oh, just come on in real quick. We just gotta talk to them about something real quick, and then we're going. And I'm like, like this seems a little funny, Yeah. And at this point, I'm like full blown bad teenager. I'm smoking a cigarette in this parking lot, that she's trying to coerce me into going in. I'm like, nah, man, this is weird, but then ended up going inside there, and it was the producers for the Scared Straight TV show. Yeah. And they like were listening to my mom tell them about how bad
what were they like?
They were very nice and very persuasive. Mm-hmm. They knew exactly what I wanted, and they knew how to finesse me. Bro, they basically kind of told me that I was gonna be this big rap star. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even joking, because I'm in there and they hear my mom's side of the story, then they call me back and they start asking me about things that I do. And I was honest with them. I was like, nah, like I be, I'm hanging out, I'm on the block, I'm thugging, getting in fights, smoking weed, drinking. And then they're like, well, what are you into? And at that time, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be a rapper. So I was like, I'm a rapper. And they're like, oh, listen, our last season aired to 2.3 million viewers. Your episode's like on track to air to like 2.8 million. If you come on board, we think you have a great story. They were like, we're going to center the episode around you. And they were telling me they'd pay me to do it. Because at first I told them no. I was like, nah, man. But then they started hitting me with all them 2 point whatever million numbers of people that'll see me rap. And they were like, oh, yeah, we have connections. And so I'm like, hell yeah. I'm thinking that my life is about to change for the better, bro, So I'm like, yeah. So then I agree to do it. I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, oh, boom, we're filming in a month. So then they come and they do the interview at home before you go. Like I said, it's like a 3-month thing. They like film you. They film me doing a bunch of stuff that they didn't air. Like they filmed me riding my longboard down the street, doing kick flips on my regular skateboard, hacky sacking with Arnold Shapiro, the main guy that created, like he was like some head guy at A&E or something. They would call and just be like, hey, we're going to film tomorrow, because they were just like still in town. Back to your original question, sorry for straying off, but the producers, like especially the lady that I was dealing with, I got a picture with all of them too. I'll send you.
Oh, thank you.
I got a picture with me and like the whole entire crew at the studio in front of a green screen.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And the lady, she was like super nice, man. And I feel like she felt bad for me. They took me out to eat to like nice restaurants and shit a bunch of time. Took me shopping at Target. That was when they gave me the Target cards. Because at first they gave me like $500 in cash. And then they gave me 2 Target cards that each had $500 on it. When we were wrapping up filming though, that was like at the end of it, after the jail tour. Were super nice to me. They were actually really, really cool to me when it wasn't time to like film. When the cameras were off, they were great people. I won't take that from them. But when the cameras were on, it was like, hey, we need some exciting stuff for television.
Like they would egg you on, like they would.
Oh yeah, they would tell you, hey, that story that you just said was cool, like, but can you say it again, but like add this? And you're like, all right. I mean, they even filmed me and my buddy like running out the back of my house and then hopping over the back of my fence, because they were trying to like show a reenactment of what I would do when I was skipping school and my mom would come home early. Dude, they made us do that like 30 times. Like we like booked it out of my house, like booked it through like living room, kitchen, all the way out to the backyard, over the fence like 30 times. Because they were like, oh no, that didn't look, we need to do that again, and and all because I said one time to them.
What things would they do behind the cameras when you were actually in the prison? How much behind the scenes did you get to witness while you were on the show in prison?
Right. So when we were going through the jail, we didn't know the next thing that was going to be, like, what was the next thing they were about to take us to. And also the episode's not in order of like how it actually went. Cause like the rapping thing happened like very early into the jail tour, like right after I got searched and they found the paraphernalia on me and shit.
That scene is hilarious.
But behind the scenes stuff, like they would stop, like I said, we didn't know what the next thing, like what the next part of the tour was going to be, but we definitely knew when it was time, like when the cameras were rolling. We knew when it was like, all right, boom, we're filming now. Y'all are sad and in the cells, and the food thing was a surprise, but like we knew that something was about to happen because they walked in, cameras on, and they're like giving us thumbs up behind the camera, like, all right, you guys are rolling. And here comes the sheriff's like, here's the food. Each of you is gonna get a tray. And we're just like, oh, okay, here's this. But
what about you eating the food?
I actually was hungry as hell during that jail tour. I also did have the munchies. The sheriff was not wrong.
And then you were asking about the piece of bread.
Oh yeah, nah, and that's another funny part, bro. I've been known for that in the area for like the last 12, 13 years. So people would be like, it's cake. Because he kind of got mad, but I'm gonna be honest with you, dude, that shit was bread pudding. And I know now, especially from being locked up, that every once in a while they spice it up and they throw the bread pudding in instead of the piece of cake on your tray. So I wasn't wrong. It was definitely bread pudding, and that motherfucker just was like, it's cake. Like, okay, dude. All right, whatever. And it was like awkward too, so I was trying to make small talk with them because they're just like, they got the cameras on us and the deputies are just staring at us like this. Like just mean as hell while we're just eating this jail food. I think they wanted us to be like gagging off of it or something, but I'm like, bro, this shit is not even that bad. Man, I ain't gonna lie, dude, I was actually hungry, bro. When they first came with the cameras before the jail tour and they filmed me and, I'm this bad teenager, blah, 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 whatever, everything was kind of like starting to go rocky at home. And then by the time they were doing the jail tour, we didn't have the house like legally and the power and the water was off. So it was just like an abandoned house.
When you were filming, it was abandoned?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why the producers felt like really bad for me. You know?
Oh my God.
If you watch the end of the episode where I'm like on the porch with my mom the house was abandoned then, and my mom had been drinking and partying and just chilling all day. So when I got back from that studio session and got to the porch, she was pretty slizzard. So if you like really go back and watch that last part, you could tell because she's just kind of like, yeah, it's so cool. Oh, yeah. There's a point where you can see lights on in the episode in my house when they were interviewing us. And then there's a point where it's just natural light, like just natural sunlight in the house. All the lamps are off because all our stuff was still in the house. We were there for like 2 years, honestly. All this, like, nobody came to kick us out the house even though we lost it. It was like we basically just squatted for 2 years with no power, no water. Yeah, dude, that sucked going through high school like that. Not gonna lie.
Oh my God, man. They leave that part out for sure.
I remember them saying something about that. They were like, that's a little too... And by the time they were coming to film and it was like that, this is supposed to be the success, like that he's better now, he's listening more, he doesn't do other substances, he just smokes weed, it's supposed to be like a success story. I think that's why they were like taking me out to eat, and they were,
They are not contributing to society.
Oh, for sure not. That's why I said, like, when the cameras are off, they were decent people. You look at it like big picture, nah, buddy. Me as an adult, I wouldn't do that to a teenager, you know what I mean?
Right. I think the controversy behind this show, like the morals of, reality television, especially children in television, I think that's why there is still an audience, especially a new wave right now, because people are just reflecting off of the times and how inappropriate that was. Did you feel it was inappropriate while you were going through it?
A little bit, but I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like, I was blinded by the light, so to speak, because they had like all these visions of, grandeur. I'm like, I'm gonna be this big thing, and I did have like others, like I could have ended up on other shows with them in A&E. I mean, if I would have just like stayed in contact with them, and because they wanted me to do more, they wanted me to be on TV more. I'm not gonna lie, man, as soon as that episode aired and it went up, and then like everybody, I couldn't go anywhere. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is like super ratchet to say, but like I had like certain places I could go buy cigarettes because I was 15, 16, but they didn't know. So I was able to get the cigarettes. Then after the episode, I go there and they're like, nah, you're that scared straight kid. Like you can't get no cigarettes. So it kind of like blew my spot up. I was like, man, it was, I would be walking down the street just trying to go to a friend's house and have car pull over and be like, hey, ain't you that kid from Scared Straight that was rapping and stuff? And I'd be like, man, fuck. I kind of ran from it for a little bit after that.
What's your relationship with it now after so many years?
I'm content, man. I'm content with it. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm living a pretty good life now. I got a great job, great support system behind me, family. Kind of feel like I made it without the whole grandeur and the light, because I could have easily just been in and out of prison forever. Now I don't look at it in a bad light all the way. Obviously, there's things to be embarrassed about throughout the episode because, but who doesn't have that? Everybody has that. It's just theirs wasn't televised. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something to look back at when they were 15 and they're like, man, why did I do that? Or I can't believe. Everybody has those moments. And I just look at it like that, man. I'm like, it is what it is, dude. I went on TV when I was 15. It was super cool at the time. Left a bad taste in my mouth shortly after because I kind of felt like they lied to me. The time period was so different and so weird because there wasn't like a social media for me to plug. Like there wasn't like a way for me to be like, hey, this is where you can find my music. Yeah, sure, they took me to the studio and they aired that on TV, but they didn't give me like what they said they would. They were like, we're gonna set you on that path in that first meeting with them before I ever even agreed. It left a sour taste in my mouth for a little while, but I'm about to be 30 now and I don't really have any like ill will towards the show itself. Do I feel like it kind of like a stain when it comes to like society? It's like, it's not really a great thing to do. And some people will swear by it. The Scared Straight program is a regular program without the TV show. It's been being done forever, like for a long time, decades.
You're thinking about who's with your girl. When 3 guys will slide into your cell, wrap your ass up in that blanket, and I don't care how tough you think you are or how strong you might be. They're gonna kick your ass over the side of that bed and do bodily harm to your asshole by sticking a dick in it.
There's people who be like, yeah, I went through Scared Straight when I was 12 and I watched the inmates yell at me and and it changed my life and I didn't do bad anymore. But it didn't do that for me, especially because I'm getting publicity for being in this bad thing. And then like you kind of get a reputation from it and now you got to live up to that. I got into a lot of trouble after Scared Straight tour that I feel like I wouldn't have gotten into if I didn't ever go through the tour, because I'm gonna be honest, I went through the jail and I was like, this ain't that bad. This ain't as scary as y'all make it sound. Y'all are like making it this big, bad, scary thing and it's not that bad. And then I grow up and I go to jail and yeah, dude, it sucks. You're away from your family and I would never want anybody to end up where I was. And I've been to a couple different jails and I've been to prison. I always went into it with that mindset of this ain't gonna be that bad because I went through that Scared Straight program. I already knew what jail was like. I already knew what to expect. And then you just have to learn how to navigate the people. I kind of do feel like it set me up for failure and it set me back a good decent chunk of my life. I also got very big-headed from it because I'm in a small town. You're that kid that's on TV. You kind of get your head filled up. They want to, people out here, they see you and they're like, they want to know they're gonna try that. They'll try you. I'm fighting in the alleyways. I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm carrying around guns, just doing a bunch of shit that I look back on now and say is dumb, but at the time you couldn't tell me anything.
How old were you when you shot off someone's toe?
Well, to clarify, I didn't actually. That's what I mean when I say it's like semi-scripted. I had told them a story before filming about how me and 3 other guys that, you know, I grew up with when we were younger. I was about 13, actually. We were robbing this guy, and we were kind of jumping him. And the guy that we were robbing didn't get shot at all. My friend actually accidentally shot himself in the foot while all this was going on. I guess he had like tried to get it off his waistband and then like shot himself in the foot. And I had told them that story, and then they were like, "That's cool, but we want you to say this." They were like, we needed to be you, because they had the question I think they asked me was like, what is some of like the most intense moments you've gotten into being out here like on the streets type. And I told them that, and they were like, "No, we want you to say it like this." And so to clarify, I did not shoot anybody's foot. I did not shoot somebody in the foot.
That's crazy, because you're telling me that they told you what they wanted you to say. They told you to put out there that you shot someone's toe off, even though you didn't. That's insane.
They also wanted me to say I was in a gang. I wasn't actually in the gang, and the gang that I said I was in that's not a gang. The gang that I said I was in was actually like a music collective. Like it was actually a record label that was made by somebody in the area. That was Fabricated also. Like, now, did I get into certain type of, you know what I'm saying, activities after the episode? For sure, 1,000,000%. Because like I said, I had to like live up to what I had already been on television saying that I was doing. Even at a younger age, there was like static. And there was times where, you know, I got jumped, or times where I've been shot at and shit like that. There's been those times too, but it definitely became like more of a, like, it boosted for sure, like after the episode. Yeah, they kind of set me up, man. They wanted me to be like this ultimate super fucking bad teenager. Now, what wasn't scripted was like, I definitely accidentally brought paraphernalia in. And the reason why is because I thought we were doing the jail tour, right? But the jail that we were touring is like this old ass jail that's out here. It's Portsmouth City Jail. And even right now there's like maybe 150 people in there when it's made to house like thousands. So I thought they were about to just take us like through some closed part of the jail, like, and have some inmates come to this side and walk us past them there or whatever. So I didn't think that we were going to go through like an actual, no, like you're getting booked into jail scenario. So like right before we went on the episode, I was out front of the jail, like around the corner, and it's like right by the water. And I smoked like 2 J's and probably like 4 cigarettes, and I just stuffed the papers in the bag and a couple dollars I had on me back in my pocket and just went in. So then I had to come up with something when he was like, "How'd you not know you had this in your pocket?" And the whole time at first I was like, "Oh man, I really did just mess up." Like I did think I was like about to get in trouble for bringing contraband into, you know what I'm saying, the facility. I'm like, I just made it up. I was like, man, I just put these pants on, man. They were just old dirty pants I had in the corner. Like, I just had to say something. And then they completely fried me for that. They were like, "So you're admitting that you're in here wearing dirty pants?" I'm like, oh my God. Like, no way, dude, no way. Because the funny thing is, they were not, in fact, dirty pants. They were actually brand new pants I had just got. They were social collision jeans. People my age will know what that meant.
Oh my God. Okay, so shit, sorry, hold on. That shit was funny. Okay, so when you first get locked up, you said you have a bitch that you gotta get to. Do you keep in touch with this bitch, or how are things?
Nah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of just said that just to fucking look cool, bro. Yeah. And I was just like trying to look cool, like I got better shit to be doing. When are we gonna wrap this up?
Oh my God. Now you have wife and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. But hold up. You gotta let me move past that. Just talking about it gives me flashbacks. Now I'm older and I realize that life isn't that fun. I'm pretty much homeless with my daughter and my baby mom. And I just found out that I'm about to have a son. The pressure was on. How did I take it? How did I manage? I didn't. I dipped. I hate it, but it's true. God damn it. I was a piece of shit father to my daughter and her brother, but my baby moms held it down and made it better. So I went to jail again and wrote a lot of letters. Came out and did what I could to keep us together. And just like our luck, we found out once again that she's pregnant. Damn.
Justin, I want to wrap things up with this question. It's been 15 years. So could you let me know how you are now?
Doing great, honestly. The last 6 years of my life, I've just been on the up and up, man. I'm proud to finally say I'm a homeowner. Got a great job, man. Great family. So sometimes it takes a little minute, takes a second, but it can be a success story later on. All the time I got friends that tell me like, man, I can't believe it, bro. Like you really made it. Things were bad for a long time. And now where I'm at, I'm just living, man. I'm feel like I achieved a lot of goals. In the end, I feel like I won. Yeah, dude, life's great now.
Honestly, I know the internet was so curious on how all these kids are doing nowadays. And I know for a fact people are so wanting to be proud of you. So I know when this comes out, like, you're going to bring a smile to a lot of people's faces. So I'm so thankful for you doing this with me.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you hitting me up and bringing me on the platform, man. If you want, you can find my social media, same way I spell all my music. Everything's under the same thing, Facebook, Instagram. Other than that, man, I appreciate you, dude. This was a great interview. You did great. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Thank you.
You're so great with the questions. Like,
bro, thank you. That means a lot, honestly. And also, thanks again for doing this, bro. I'm so excited to see where this goes.
It's all good, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got homeboys. They've been begging me to do this.
Nice.
Like ever since I told them the first time I talked to you, they all went and watched your other Scared Straight interview, and everybody was like, "Bro, you have to do it." I mean, I just like the way you interview, just the way you were doing it, man. It was cool. It was super cool to see.
These are some MySpace pictures. Like this.
Oh my god. Dude, it's like I saw like so many different phases of yours. But like, you think it changed your life? It must have affected you mentally.
It's people like you that make it worth it. So again,
appreciate
thanks
that,
again
dude.
for doing it with me.